Yo, YouTubers, the new time travel behind me, 88. I'm back with another Doctor Who DVD review, and yes, we're still celebrating Doctor Who's 50th anniversary. So today, I'm doing another Sixth Doctor story. It is Doctor Who Timelash. Ah, yes, this is a very wonderful story. I love this episode. It's quite fantastic, well directed. Anyway, this DVD review was requested by Tim Mayo, also known as Tessa Coils. Thank you very much for the request. This two-part story originally transmitted on March 9th and the 16th, 1985. And this is the fifth story of the 22nd season. The story goes that the Doctor and Perry are arguing between themselves to their next destination, when the TARDIS is suddenly ensnared by the Contron corridor. After the Doctor tries unsuccessfully to free the ship, he and Perry strap themselves, embracing themselves for the potential disasters occur. The TARDIS approaches the corridor and is nearly torn apart by the impact, but stabilized once it has entered the corridor and is navigated to the source of the disturbed planet, Carfel, a world which the Doctor has visited before. Now, Carfel is a small population ruled by the Rig hierarchy at the APEC, of which is the Borad, a satanistic and despotic ruler. The Borad has never shown himself in person, only via security monitored, which revealed him to be a disfigured old man, but something in his manner does not ring true. Fear is enforced rigidly through the policing of Android and all rebels, such as Aram, Gazek, and Tahir, are deal with either by summary execution or dispatch a death via the Timelash, a permanent and ultimately fatal exile down a corridor of space and time. Acting as proxy for the Borad, as the Malin is the most senior of 5 consuls of Carfel. One of them, Micros, has grown unhappy with the rule of the Borad. Since the Borad became powerful, their people has became disillusioned, rebellious, and miserable. The former allies, the Bandrid, are posed to invade the Bandros, threaten war after the Borad rescales the grain supplies treaty, which unpinned the relationship between two civilizations. Macros determined to discover the truth and follows the Malin. Renus into the Borad's power chamber. The unhappy Malin is transferring power supply of the Kerfrons into the Borad personal system, despite the dangers to his own wife, who's recovering from hospital surgery. Renus finds Micros and gives him a blessing of rebellion. However, the Borad finds out and metters out the usual punishment. The Malin is aged to death in a deadly beam, while the Micros is sentenced to Timelash before he can be sent. However, Vina, Rena's daughter, and Micros' lover intervenes to plead his life. When this fails, she steals a amulet, conferring to the power to prevent the energy supply from the new Malin, a psychopathic tackler, and accidentally falls into the web of Timelash herself. The arrival of TARDIS presented by Tecker with the opportunity to try to retrieve the amulet. The Cleaver, Malin, greets the Doctor and Perry, a favorite guest, but the Doctor is suspicious of Kafron society. He makes a huge scientific leap in source space of time, and that's not the permanent mirrors. When the Doctor refused to venture a time lash again, Tucker explained that Perry has been taken hostage and assured his operation in receiving the amulet. She has been taken into caves of the Morlocks, referred to H.G. Wells' A Time Machine, where the Morlocks are degeneration, cannibalism, human, large lizard indigenous to Carfell, where her captor hope she will die. Yet luck as is ever on her side, and some Carfron rebels, Cats and Cezanne, kill one of the creatures, threaten her, and take her into their company. However, they are soon attacked by patrol guard. To protect Doc Perry, the Doctor returns to the TARDIS into the Timelash and calculates the normal path of the Timelash would be 1179 on Earth, but the interference of the TARDIS caused her instead to end up in Scotland in 1885. When the Doctor arrives, he finds Vina, the amulet, and a justifiably agitated young man named Herbert. All three depart on the return to journey the amulet, which is all Tucker cares about when the TARDIS arrives back in the council chambers. The Doctor, Vina, and Herbert are round up with the rebels, Micros, Cezanne, and Cats are condemned to the Timelash. They fight back, killing dying Counselor Brunner, and seal the door of the chamber, determined to hold out inside. This buys the Doctor enough time to hoist into the Timelash on a rope, and takes the two Croton crystals from the wall of the time corridor when he used to create a time rush, allowing him to slip out of the chamber, and Herbert follows. Meanwhile, Tucker fled the Borad and blames the setback on the last remaining loyal counselor, Kendra, whom the Borad execute. Tucker remains at the side of the Borad. However, a canister of chemical mescalite 80 is placed nearby, which has the ability to fuse together a different tissue. One creature is seen. The Borad is taken linked to Perry, and which is to mutate her like himself. The Doctor arrives to comfort Tucker, and the Borad recognize as the latter a mean gland. However, Herbert follows the Doctor inside. He now helps the Doctor to rescue Perry from the Morlocks. They return to the council chamber where the Macrons and Vina had now been identified a Bandrel invasion. A fleet of army with Ben Dallop's warhead, which is close to the Carfell. The Bandrels are suspicious of the Doctor's attempt to intervene to prevent a missile strike, which calls him to drastic action. The Doctor materialized the TARDIS in the path, incoming the warhead, risking his own life. He does so, successfully return to Carfell to find the Meglin return from the dead and threaten the council chamber, or rather one of the clone of the original. Meglin is made unbalanced by the image himself boarding up in the mirror. The Doctor may have ended up in a Loch Ness monster. He may be seen from time to time. As the Doctor and Perry about to depart and take Herbert back to his right time, Herbert, however, he wished to stay on Carfell with an explanation of learning new life. Perry suggests They accept the decision, but the doctor produced Herbert calling card showing his name, Herbert or H.G. Wells. He known to his own time. Now, how did I like this story? My thoughts of Timelash. A very well entertained story. I love this episode when meeting Herbert, real life, or Herbert George Wells, mixed into like the Morlocks from the Time Machine. I say this is a really good story. It's not cheesy. It's fantastic. This story gets a 10 out of 10. Okay, let's take a look at the DVD cover. Here's the disfigured creature, the Bored, the Sixth Doctor, and the Starfield Shield. The Colin Baker years, 1984 to 1986. Here's the spine, 2 Entertain logo. In the back, still pictures. On the DVD extras, we have audio commentary by Colin Baker, Nicola Bryant, and Paul Darrow. The good, the bad, the ugly. Radio time listings, subtitles, photo gallery, Easter eggs, and so forth. Here's the disc for Timelash. Very good story. And if you haven't got this episode, I recommend to check it out. It is fantastic. Well, that's it for this review. Next up, review Revitalization of the Dialects. And make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. This is the new Time Travel Jaime 88 saying goodbye for now, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Take care now.